Okay, so when it comes to creating a landing page for your business, you want to make sure that you have certain elements on that page to give you the best chance of converting. A lot of people ask, especially if you're not doing online marketing or you're just getting into it, a lot of people ask, well, what's the difference between a landing page and a regular page on your site? Well, technically a landing page is any page that you send somebody to. That's the page they land on. But for online marketing purposes, a landing page is a dedicated page that you create that's only focused on that one thing. So if you're running an ad for plumbing services in Charlotte, then that landing page would only be focused on whatever that offer is. There'd be nothing else. And typically what a landing page is, you're gonna remove the header area from your website with all the links on the menu. You may even remove the footer on there. So basically you wanna minimize distractions, and you kind of wanna just force people to take that one action that you want them to take, whether that's fill out a form, download something, opt in for an email, or whatever. You kind of want to minimize the chances of them clicking on somewhere else, whether on your website or social media, and then forgetting all about they were ever on your page. Okay, so that's what a landing page is. Now, unfortunately, most businesses that run online advertising, they send their traffic either to their homepage, which is unlikely to convert, or they send them to one of their service pages, which same thing. There's probably lots of distractions on the website. Like I said, you probably got a dozen links above the page. You probably got several links below the page. You probably got your social media links on there. You may not even have a contact form or a mechanism for them to take action on that page. So those pages tend not to convert as well. So if you're gonna do online advertising, you wanna make sure that you have a page set up, because if you're gonna spend money to send people to a page on your website, you wanna make sure that you do everything that you can to get them to convert. Okay, so these are some of the elements we're gonna go over that should be on your landing page. Now, every landing page is different, so the page that you create may look, or most likely will look, different than what I have laid out here, but the elements that we're gonna talk about should be on that page, okay? So when people click on an ad, so if you're doing a Facebook ad or you're doing Google AdWords or something like that, you're gonna have some text. You're gonna have a headline, you're gonna have some supporting copy. Whatever you say in that ad to entice them to click on the ad, you wanna reiterate it as soon as they land, okay? So, if somebody's looking for a gluten-free pizza, you don't wanna send them to the homepage of your website where there's no mention of gluten-free pizza. Maybe you have it buried somewhere, but now that person has to do the work to try to find it on your site. Most likely you're just gonna leave, okay? So you wanna make sure when somebody clicks on your ad, whatever you had as your enticing text and description to get them to click on the ad, you wanna make sure you reiterate there. You may have the exact same copy at the top of your page, or you may reword it a little bit, but basically you wanna let them know that they are on the right page. Exactly what they were looking for is what they got. So you wanna make sure you have your headline and you have your supporting text in there, and that it's matching whatever ad that they clicked on to get to that page. Next thing that you want to put on there is you want to put your hero shot. And a hero shot is just a nice graphic. It's a nice visual graphic, and it's there to catch their attention. People look at that visual. That's going to be the first thing that draws their eye. So you want to put a visual there. Faces work the best. People instinctively look at somebody's eyes. So if you have a picture here of somebody's face, the first thing they're gonna look at is they're gonna look in their eyes. Okay, so faces and people tend to work best, but it doesn't have to be. But you wanna make sure that this hero shot is something that's gonna capture their attention, just long enough so they can start reading everything else on the page. Now, depending on how you have it laid out, you may have your headline and supporting text as part of this hero shot if you're gonna create a graphic, or maybe you're just gonna have a picture in here, okay? One of the most important things on this page is going to be your mechanism for conversion. Most of the time it's going to be a contact form, especially if you're a service business, you're trying to get an estimate or a lead consult or something like that, you're going to have a contact form on here. You want to make that prominent, you want to make that very clear, very easy to find. So a lot of times you're going to put that somewhere in the top half of your landing page. So that is how they're going to take action, and you want to make it very clear. Now, when you're doing this, like I said, the form's probably the main action that you're going to get them to take, but you can also put a phone number in as well, because some people may want to take action right away depending on what kind of business you have. So you can give them the option to call now. What I would not do is just put the phone number and not have the form, because most people feel more comfortable filling out a form, giving their email address and giving out their phone number. But you can give them an option to fill out their phone number as well, and now you have two ways for people to take action. Okay, next thing you're going to do is you're going to give an explanation, a nice, short and concise explanation of what you offer. What's your product or what's your service? What do you have to offer? What's your value proposition? How is this person going to benefit from taking the action of contacting you and doing business with you? You want to make that very clear. Bullet points work really well as supporting evidence. So give a list of bullet points of what they're going to get, how they're going to benefit from it. Don't put features in here. Features, nobody cares about features. Like when people buy the iPhone, they don't care if it came with what kind of processor or what kind of lens or what it's made out of. They want to know how their life is going to get better. They want to know they can store, thousands of high resolution images and videos on their phone, things like that. So you want to use these supporting bullets as benefits and outcomes for people, how your service or product is going to make their life better. Bullet points work well because people tend to scan these pages and bullet points jump out, and it's easy for people to read and comprehend. So you want to make sure you do a really good job with this, giving your value proposition, explaining clearly what you do, and having some supporting bullet points on there. Another element you need to have on here are some customer testimonials, right? People want to know that other people are very happy with this product or service too. So you want to make sure you include them. You can do a slider, you can have them listed out, you can have a video. Video works best. But whatever you do, make sure you add some kind of testimonials. Now, the more specific you can get, the more believable it will be. So if you just put, I love this service, signed Joe Blow, probably people aren't going to really resonate with that. But if you said, this is the best service we've ever had, this is Joe's Hardware in downtown Charlotte, that makes it a lot more believable, a lot more specific, even especially if you have a link to you probably wouldn't put a link in there, but maybe put the name of their business or maybe even put a picture of that person. That makes it a lot more believable when you're doing testimonials. So you want to make sure that you add some customer testimonials. You also want to add you want to expand on the features and benefits and outcomes of what you have to offer. So this may be a couple boxes, it may be more, maybe less, it may be laid out different, but you want to expand a little bit on what your product or service does. And these are some specific features and benefits that you are going to get if you use our product or service. Okay, so you want to make sure you lay those out. Typically they're laid out in little boxes like this, because same thing as the bullet points, are really easy to read, really easy to understand. You don't want to go on with long paragraphs about trying to explain things on here. People have shorter attention spans. Get right to the point, be short and concise with all of your copy on this page. Go right for the value on there, okay? So you want to list out your features. You may use 3, you may use 4, you may use 6, depending on how many features and how many benefits you think you'll need to add to get them to take action. And you'll also want to add some social proof. So social proof can be anything that supports, that lets the person on the page know that lots of other people agree with this product or service and lots of people use it. So that could be, you might just have a statement there and say, hey, we've installed 5,000 decks in the Denver area since 1995. Or, the New York Times rates us as one of the top design studios in New York City. Anything where you can add some kind of proof from a third party that supports your claims that you're great should go in here. Maybe it's popular name brand clients that you work with now or customers that you have now. It could be something about social media. Maybe you have a huge following, join 500,000 other people on our Facebook page or something like that. Anything to show some credibility that lots of other people are happy with your business and your product and service. If you have some room, you can add some additional supporting text, and that could just be expanding on maybe some of the outcomes, some of the features, about your product or service on here. I wouldn't go too crazy with it unless you're really trying to sell something that's difficult to sell. So if you're doing something like financial services on here, you may have to expand this because that's more of a complex sale on here, and you may need to go into more details about the value you can do. If it's something shorter, like, get a landscaping quote, then you may not need to go into too much of an in-depth detail beyond the features and benefits here. Okay, so it really depends on your business, but supporting text, if you have some nice visuals, maybe visuals of projects that you've done in the past, or if you have video, that's even better. And this only may be one, it may be two, maybe three. Like I said, it depends on how complex your sale is and how difficult it is to get somebody to come and fill out this form. Okay, and when you get towards the bottom here, you want to reiterate your call to action. Contact us today for a free estimate or something like that. And you can even include a link. If you're using a developer, they can do a jump cut in there, put a little thing of code. So if they have a button, get started now, they click on it and it'll roll right all the way back to the top of the landing page, right to the form so they can fill it out. Okay, but at the very least, put a call to action at the bottom to reiterate what your call to action up here is going to be, whether fill out the form, call us, or download, or whatever that's going to be. You're going to have a small footer area here. You're not going to put too much stuff in the footer like you would on a website. One thing, if you're doing online advertising, you need to put a privacy notice on here. So you do need to put a link to your privacy notice on your website, and it needs to just explain what you're doing with this data, what you're doing with this information, blah, 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 blah. And this is actually required. If you're doing Google AdWords, it's actually required to be on the page. You need to have a privacy statement letting people know what you do with their data. It can be very small in the footer, but you should have it in there. Possibly if you don't, Google AdWords may stop your campaign on you until you're violating their terms of service. Something you may have in here, may or may not, it kind of depends on your own preference. You could put a link to your main website, because if you're going to do the landing page properly, you're going to take out the main menu. Even if it's on your page or you're using landing page software, you're probably not going to have your top of your website with your logo and menu and stuff like that, and same thing in the footer. So there may not be anywhere else for them to go. And sometimes what you might put at the bottom and say, hey, come visit our main website, or visit our homepage, or something like that. That's up to you. Sometimes people like to do that because maybe people want to go and find out more information. Sometimes people do not want them to click anywhere except to leave this page or fill out the form on there. They just want that one action. So it's kind of up to you. It depends on your personal preference. Okay, so hopefully this explains what elements should be on your landing page. Like I said, there's lots of different layouts on how to do this, but these are the elements that really should go on any kind of landing page. Okay, so thank you very much. And if you want to learn more, you can go to 3bugmedia.com. Thank you very much. Have a good day.